Welcome to the channel. This is Geauxgreddy, and welcome to the 2020-2021 FIA Manufacturers Round 4 race at Alsace Village. And for a change, I'm actually in the OP car, so stick around to check out the action. And before I get to it, if you could be so kind as hit the like and or subscribe, I'd greatly appreciate it. Alright, here we are back in the FIAs, and I am in the Volkswagen Scirocco. Yes, Group 4 car for Volkswagen. Not typically blazingly fast anywhere, as the tires typically fall off before everybody else's, but here, for whatever reason, the front wheel drive cars are king. Supposedly it is the acceleration out of these very quick corners that we run through here. So I'll take it. You know, I actually had a top 10 time in North America on the leaderboard. Looky there, number 7. What? Yes, indeed. Even beat my boy Gr4, who is just lighting up the series lately. Guy is on fire. He's a legit competitor, that man. Anyway, so here we are on the qualifying lap. Yeah, that's what I was doing. I was qualifying here. And I am behind Bylaster. I have no idea how to pronounce his name. Probably butchering the heck out of whatever he wanted it to be. Or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I got it right. And I was hoping to get in his slipstream here at some point in this lap. He is in the front-wheel drive TT. And I wanted to be behind a front-wheel drive car. So, hey, boom, perfect. But Bylaster was pretty quick around here. And I didn't actually quite catch up to him like I wanted to, so I couldn't lay down the lap that I was hoping to, but I still put in a really nice lap. I put in a 159 one some odd something or another, and that was good enough for P2 from the qualifying session. So of the front wheel drive cars, I did qualify second of the 4 that were in the lobby. So with that in mind, I said, well, I may as well start on the softs and get out in front and get a good lead, head into the back half of the race. In the practice races, the tires on the front-wheel drive cars really start to drop off after lap 5, but I was afraid to pit at lap 5, so I'm thinking I'm going with the 6 soft, 6 medium strategy, not the 3 stop, not the 5-5-5-3 like you would think would be needed from the front-wheel drive car, but a 6-6-6 strategy. Ooh, that sounds mighty evil. But it's not, trust me. So there we are. There's a Bylaster. Again, the front-wheel drive car, the 159.04. There I am in second with the 159.144. 10th off pole. There is Netflix password with the 159.203 just behind me. And then the first of the non-front-wheel drive cars is the Little Chicken Nugget, followed by TPC Pooh Bear to round out the top 5. So those were our top 5 starters there coming in the race, and just knowing how well this car did here, I wasn't too worried about a Little Chicken Nugget on back. They would have to have one heck of a race to catch the front 3 runners here. There's the 4th place front wheel drive car was in P7s. You see Axel N918. He was actually on that top 10 leaderboard that I showed earlier, if I remember correctly. I believe he was on there. So he was a pretty fast guy. And when I first saw him in the lobby, I was like, oh, man, this guy is going to be right there with us. And I was a little surprised to see him down there in P7. Must not have had a great qualifying lap. Bylaster and Netflix password were not on that leaderboard. So I don't know. Maybe they were hiding their times or something. I don't know how they would do that. So here at the beginning of the race, I am just trying to stay in the slipstream of the Audi TT and trying to get out of the slipstream to Netflix password. And I'm not really able to do that. So the TT, again, just pulling out on me here, just kind of leaving me in the dust a little bit. And it kind of put a dampener on my game plan. What I was hoping to do was that any other front-wheel drive car in here with me would be like, me and him would be on identical pace or whatever, to where I could just kind of hang out in the slipstream and save a lot of fuel. And then, you know, at the end of the race, just kind of turn it on a little bit since I saved a little more fuel and be able to maybe get out in front, whatever. But P1 was putting down the lap early and making me kind of have to chase, and that unsettled me a little bit here on lap 1. I am now, as you can see, drifting out of the slipstream. So if you look up in the top left-hand corner, P1 to P2, you can see the time differences there. So let's come down through the last couple right-hand, left-hand turn, heading towards the start-finish line here. Once again, I've got to get back into that slipstream. So important. Two reasons is again, the front wheel drive tires will fall off at lap 5, like I mentioned earlier. Right after lap 5, they'll start to, at least in my car, with me driving it, they'll start to fall off. And so I need as much fuel in the tank as possible to kind of hold off a little chicken nugget and then I'm back. Now this lobby is probably it seemed oddly between a second split and a third split lobby, so I'm thinking it might be second split. Looking at the number of A+ drivers in here, there a little bit more than half the room was A+ ranked, and so I'm one of the lower ranked drivers. I was the 13th ranked driver in the lobby, and I'm at about 47,000 DR points, so very close to that second split. So not quite sure, but I know these guys behind me are all pretty quick, and so I don't want to give them any reason to catch me. So if I have to sit in the pits too long refueling, that just gives them a little more edge to get onto my back bumper. And of course, if you get one of these fast guys into your slipstream, they just will not let go. So didn't want to do that either. And I didn't want to lose, being the string that's locked, I didn't want to lose any time to the guys behind us. I mean, the three of us, if we can just go scamper off into the distance by ourselves, I was perfectly content with that. I'll take my podium position. Of course, I would like to win the race, but as Netflix password gets into me on the tight right hand, let's see what happens here. And I think he was just closing in on me. I don't know if he meant to send it or not. I wasn't looking for it, honestly. I wasn't even looking in my rearview mirror. I was just driving laps. And when I turned in, all of a sudden there he was. So I just really wasn't, I guess I wasn't paying enough attention either. So partly my fault. Sorry about that Netflix password. I didn't mean to turn in on you there. I wasn't expecting a move right there. I don't know if that's what you were trying for or not. I don't know that he was. He may have been. He was catching me pretty good right then. But then he falls back about 1.5 seconds, and this is when I thought the race would settle, right here, about this 1.5 second mark, where we'd all be 1.5 seconds behind each other. But moving forward a few laps, you can see there, that is not the case, as Bylaster kind of peeled off there and took off into the distance, and he was able to pull away from me. And Netflix password was able to run me back down. So lap 4, and I've done enough of these races. I know when someone just simply has better pace than me. P1 has better pace than me. I'm just not able to hold. I can't even stay in the slipstream. So definitely has better pace than me. P3 was well out of my slipstream by 3/4 of a second, and he reeled me back in about 2 laps. So I know that he has better pace than me. So what I would really like to do is jump in behind P3, and hopefully he could reel me back up to P1, because he seems to have really good pace. But as I come through this corner, I'm kind of hoping he'll look down the inside so I can give a little early break and let him through. And so to kind of give him that feeling like I'm not blocking, I'm just kind of taking a normal racing line, going back wide. Now you see I'll go all the way to the left here, give him the whole, I'm trying to leave the door wide open for him. But he's not quite biting yet. He's fallen off again there to a 1/2 second, so he's a little far to make a move yet. My mind is thinking ahead. I'm thinking, okay, if anything happens, I make any mistakes, anything like that, I want to put as much distance between me and those back positions as I can. So he goes off to the outside there. Not a good opportunity for me to let him pass through there. I'm pretty decent through this section. So again, he looks down to the right, so I'm thinking, okay, he's going to come, and then he backs off. You'll see when we come down the hill, he backs off right there. So he backed off a little too early. I was going to actually give him that corner and tuck in behind him, because this is a good spot to make that move, because it's a slow part of the track. I was like, oh man, because I could be behind him right now. He possibly pulling me towards P1, but he didn't do it. So look to the next set of turns. and it's costing me a little time. You can see my time slipped back to 2:02.77 there. And it's not because my tires were falling off that badly at this point. It was because I was trying to let this guy get out in front so I could jump in behind him. And just didn't quite work out. He wasn't being super aggressive. A lot of the guys on the game are, but Netflix Password, driving very cleanly. I know he did get into the back of me a little, or we got into each other a little bit there in that tight right-hander, but again, I don't think that was intentional by either of us. And so he gets the outside here, and I see the opportunity because this is going to, to slip in behind him, and then hopefully get in his slipstream and get pulled up front. But I backed off a little too much right there, and I was almost off of his slipstream. So we go in here at the end of lap 6, as it wasn't too far from there, and you can see I've got about 60% fuel. He has 62 because he was behind me that whole time, so he was able to save a little more fuel than I was. And as we come back out, we come out behind TPC Pooh Bear, who is in a front-engine rear-wheel drive car. So he is our top front-engine rear-wheel drive competitor. Behind me is Vandal and Redline GTS. Vandal in the Porsche, and Redline GTS is in the Viper. So the Viper, I don't know how good it is on tires. I've never really paid much attention to it as far as the tire wear on that. I used to drive the Cayman, so I know it is a strong car, both in fuel saving and in tire wear. And it is a good cornering car. So I was a little concerned about the Cayman being that close to me halfway through the race. But I did know they had to pit, so I wasn't too worried about it. So he is going to head into the pits here, probably this lap or next. And I will scamper off into the distance, and then I will pit again on lap 12. Now, as you notice, Bylaster is still out there on his tires and still just making up ground. He was really scooting in that TT. I don't know if the TT's tires last better than the Scirocco or the RCZ. I mean, I don't really know the tire difference between these three front-wheel drive cars. I know the Megane gets really good tire wear. It's a really good cornering car. But this, between this and the TT, I really have no idea. I love the way the TT handles as a front-wheel drive car. We've raced it in several Sunland GT Sports series, so I really like that car. But I really don't know how its tire wear stacks up to mine. As you can see, I am pulling some time off of P1. We've probably knocked about a second off this lap, so he probably would have been better to come in for tires maybe a little bit earlier, but I don't know what his strategy is. So, that's just me saying, just looking at the time differences here. He's losing time to us as we both pull up onto TPC Pooh Bear, who kind of held up Netflix Password there for me. Did me a little bit of a favor by not going in earlier. And then I was able to get back into the slipstream of P2. On the bottom left, you can see all the people have gone in the pits. Most of them with 55, 52% fuel and whatnot. So we're not quite halfway through the race, and they have a little bit over half a tank of fuel. So they're looking pretty good on fuel. I'm not looking too, I don't think I'm looking too terrible on fuel. I don't have my fuel thing up right now, but I was trying to shift at about the 3/4 mark whenever possible and save fuel as Netflix Password gets off a little bit in the dirt there. Right there in the race, I was like, I think I might be able to get back in front of him here. Kind of hoping I wouldn't have to, because then he would just be back on my rear end in no time. I really just want to use him to pull me up to P1. And, that's just to get us all three right there and just hope for a Geauxgreddy pass. Hope something happens and I can just kind of slip on by, because both these guys have better pace than I do, and there's no doubt in my mind. I was racing a little bit tense this race. The car just was not flowing through the corners like I feel like it should have been. I felt like I was forcing it. There's days when you feel like you're just on it. You are one with the car. You're hitting your apexes. Everything is just perfect. This was not one of those times. I just really felt like I was struggling with the car. I was pushing the car. I wasn't relaxed with the car, and it was kind of showing up. I should have been able to stick in those slipstreams, but I just unable to do it. I just wasn't letting the car roll through the corners like I should have. My braking was a little late in spots, and I was just really trying to force the laps and the lap times rather than letting them happen as I relaxed and drove. So not my best race pace, not my best race, especially looking back at it. In the race, you're in it, and you know that the lap times aren't coming like you want them to, and you're not able to stick in the slipstreams like you should be able to, and those things, but for whatever reason, you just don't tell yourself to change anything. So we come to the pits here at the end of lap 12 to throw on the medium tires. I grabbed a little extra fuel in case I needed to give it some go juice in a battle here at the end. As we come out, we are behind the Cayman and the Hyundai of Pooh Bear, and not too far back behind him, about a little further than we were before, so that was a little bit concerning to me. I was like, well, I've fallen back a little further. Now, they should have a little bit better tires than they did the first stint, so it's not too surprising. As P3 goes under P4 there, and as he comes around the corner, I see he's got a 3-second penalty. I'm like, what happened there? So here is Vandal behind Pooh Bear as they head down into the corner. Pooh Bear slowing on the worn tires, and Vandal just runs into the back of him and gets a 3-second penalty. So does not, adjust his braking and or line appropriately for the slower car in front. It just hits him, costs him 3 seconds. So doesn't hurt me. I said, well, shoot. That works out. That's one less car I got to worry about, because I was worried about that Cayman at the end of the race, because when I go on those medium tires, I'm about a second slower a lap. And I know that they are going on longer stints, able to make their tires last a wee bit longer than I am. So they're going to have to spend less time on the slower medium tires than I was. And like I said, I could have chosen the 3-stop strategy with the 5-5-5-3. But I was afraid of coming out in traffic, and looking back, you look at the mini map there. I really shouldn't have been afraid to do that. There wasn't a whole heck of a lot of traffic back there, so I probably could have done the 5-5-5 strategy, but I didn't. I went with the 666 strat, so that's what I stuck with there. So it is what it is. So anyway, so 3-second penalty on P3 there is going to cost him, probably a position or two at the end of the race. 3 seconds, a lot of time. So as we wrap up lap 13 here, I am still behind Pooh Bear, pulling in on him a little bit as I am on the medium tires. He is still on the soft tires, and I'm just going to slowly edge my way closer and closer to him. Again, I'm not trying to push anything. I just want my tires to last. I know I've got the OP car. I've got the advantage. The car accelerates really well out of the corners. There's no reason to get in a hurry and do something foolish. I get a 3-second penalty like Vandal did, which is just dumb. Just pushing through there instead of trying to set up that pass. Take a little bit of time. Get your car alongside the other car. Let them know you're coming through. Usually will save you a lot of problems. If the guy that's in front of you knows you're about to pass, unless they're a total jerk, which there are several of them. Okay, but still, in this lobby of 20 people, there might be 2 people that I would be cautious of passing side by side. Like if I put myself beside them and tried to pass them, there might be a couple people. The rest I would have no problem at all whatsoever doing that. So Pooh Bear being one of them, if I get alongside of him, I have no doubt that he would know a pass was coming, and we'd given each other the appropriate amount of space. So I start to reel in Pooh Bear here on this lap. I'm now well within the slipstream, coming down into this left sweeper. This left sweeper didn't give me too much trouble during the race. You can go wide here and really, really ruin your race. It's just key about when you get onto the gas in that corner. And then Pooh Bear just slides off the left there and lets me come underneath him here. Slide underneath Pooh Bear, get back on the gas. Maybe just a little too late on the gas there. But so appreciate that. Good, clean racing there by Pooh Bear, letting me through on the fresher tires at nearing the end of his stint. So as you can see, the mediums aren't that much faster than the worn softs. At least with me driving them, they aren't. I gave Pooh Bear the flashes back there. Tell him thank you for letting me through there without rubbing paint. As we both know, losing time over a needless battle is just not worth it when the inevitable is right in front of you. You gotta know when to pick and choose your battles, and most people in the game are really good at it, especially at this level, and there's quite a few that aren't. And I've got a very good example of that So you remember Vandal and Pooh Bear had that little incident. Well, a lap later, he serves his penalty, and Pooh Bear goes by, gives him room, just goes on by, and Vandal sweeps over and tries to hit him. It's just foolish. It's just foolish. It's childish. So it's, no one needs to be racing like that. It's not necessary. So here we are, lap 18. Nothing really happened for the final 4 laps. I just by myself making laps. Redline GTS did start to close in on me at the end there, but no worries. Finished P3, 3rd place in the OP front-wheel drive Scirocco. And I get 223 points. Very excited. Had a clean race. My best points of the season. Loving it. And I hope you loved the video, and if you did, please hit that like and or subscribe. Come back and check out some more. For myself, Geauxgreddy, y'all have a great evening. DJ Clean, take us out of here.